What is up, guys? Bucket Help here, and I noticed that 1.2 came out a few days ago, so I thought it was about time that I made another video on how to set up your own server, because it's a little bit different now that we're using development builds. Anyway, so this is how you're going to set up your server for 1.2. You're going to go through setting up, configuring, and using the in-game commands for 1.2. Let's get started. First thing you want to go do is go to dl.bukkit.org, and I'll put that in the description, so that's dl.bukkit.org. Next thing you want to do is, once the page comes up, you'll see a big green button that says Craft Bukkit Recommended Build. Below that's going to say alternate versions, smaller text, but it's there, so go ahead and click that. And then you're going to download the recommended build, so go ahead and click the big red button. So I don't need to open the link in the tab, so go ahead and just download that, and while that's downloading, and explain something really quickly. Right now, do not download the green, because if you do, it won't work. It'll only be for 1.1. I'm going to put an annotation right here, probably right here over where it says a ton of development builds, and it's going to tell you if you should use the green one or not. If there's nothing there, then you need to use the red one like I have. Now the reason for this is the 1.1 build obviously won't work on 1.2. And once this green button says 1.2.3 - whatever it is, that means that you're all set and you can use the green one. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring this up. So once you download Craft Bukkit, it should look like this. Craft Bukkit, then a ton of gibberish. Anyway, move that over to your server file. So I'm going to make a new server file, name it Bukkit Server, and move the Craft Bukkit file over. And next thing you want to do is rename it to Craft Bukkit, the file in the Bukkit server folder that you just put in the Bukkit server, name it Craft Bukkit. Remember, Bukkit if you don't know, but you should. But anyway, Craft Bukkit, so you got that now. And next thing you want to do after that is make a new text document and name that something you'll remember to run your server with. This will be the file that you use to start up the server, so be sure to name it like something like run, like I'm going to do. Run. Alright, so go ahead and open that. Then open your browser back up. And then go to a website called wiki.bukkit.org/setting_up_a_server. And you'll come up to this page. This will also be in the description. And if I'm going to be doing this on Windows, but this also explains how to do it for Mac and Linux. So basically what you're going to do is, if you have, well, first of all, check to make sure you have Java 6. Now, most people on their home computer will have Java 6. So basically, if you have Java 6, first you should try this. Go ahead and copy this and paste it into the run file, into Notepad or whatever text editor you're using. If you happen to run Java 7, you're using the beta of Java, you should know what I'm talking about. If you are running Java 7, go ahead and use this instead. If you're running Linux or Mac, this gives detailed instructions how to do it on Linux or Mac, so go ahead and follow those. Anyway, once you're done with that, just go ahead and save the run file as, if you're on Windows, save it as run.batch, save as type all files, and then save it. Alright, we can close that now, and you'll get a run.batch file here. That's going to be used to run the server, so go ahead and delete the old text file run. And if you happen to be on Mac, you're going to name that run.command instead of run.bat. Anyway, well, that's not very relevant, right? Well, I suppose it. Anyway, so go ahead and just double-click run to run it, or run.batch or command or whatever OS you're using, and you should come up with some sort of either terminal or CMD. So I have my CMD open right here, and it has loaded right up. So it looks good. We have all this working just fine. Go ahead and type in reload into that command line, and then if that pops up, everything's working perfectly. So last thing we want to do is leave that open. Go ahead and open up Minecraft. So So my Minecraft open, log into it, and we're going to go to multiplayer. Go ahead and add a server. So name it whatever you want, and for the server address, type in localhost, which I've already added it. I clicked done, but I've already added it. And then you'll come up with this. Double click that to join. And if you can join, it means everything's working. If you can type, that means that's working too. Which means, hey, you're done with a small part of, well, everything. If you don't have a server already configured, you just need to put it in the jar. Anyway, so that was setting it up. Now the next part of the video is going to be configuring it. So let's go ahead and disconnect there and close this so I can have a better performance recording over here. Anyways, so now we're going to configure the server. You can go ahead and shut it down. And all these files you should see generated in your server folder. One of them should be server.properties. Go ahead and open that with Notepad or whatever you use. I actually prefer Notepad++, so I'm going to edit with Notepad++, just to make sure it's easier and it works correctly. So I'm going to do that. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and explain this entire file to you. So, if you already know what this is, and you don't want me to explain it to you, I will have an annotation up in the area around the big white space that allows you to go to the next part of the video. Anyways, so allow nether basically turns on and off the nether. False means no nether. True means you can go to the nether. This is good. You can set this to false on servers that don't run as well. They can't take as much system resources. So basically, allow nether is true. There we go. Allow nether is true. Level name. Basically what this does is changes the name of the level, so I can go to world, world nether, or world the end, and that's amazing. There we go, world, world nether, world the end. Basically, if I change this to something like Eden, and then the server would recognize the map name as Eden, Eden nether, and Eden the end. If I wanted to keep the same map, I'd have to rename this to Eden, and then rename this to Eden Web Nether, and rename this to Eden the End. But I'd like to keep it as world. It's just easier that way. Enable query. We'll go ahead and skip that. No reason for it. Allow flight. Basically, this is if the server kicks you, automatically detects if you're flying or not, and kicks you if you're not in creative mode. It stops hackers, but it's not very effective. I recommend a plugin instead of using it, so by default that's false. Server ports. This is, well, I'll explain that in another video. I'll link at the end of the video. It's explaining if others can connect to your server, this is how you're going to do it, which that will be in a link at the end of the video. Anyway, level type. This is if you want the default world to be Nether or Skylands or whatever you want. I'm not sure if Skylands actually works with 1.2. Might have been taken out. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and skip enable Archon and then go to level seed. Level seed is the seed of your world. What do you want it to generate? What world seed do you want the server to generate? The server IP. Once again, this is explained in the video with the server ports if people can't connect to your server. Max build height. This is how high people can build. Maximum you can have it as 256. Minimum you can have it as at 0. 13. Spawn NPCs. Do you want to spawn villagers and etc. or no? 14. Whitelist. Do you know what a whitelist is? I suppose it's basically you have a list right here. If a user's username is not in this list, they can't join your server. They're just automatically kicked. Basically, if that's false right now, so anyone can join. If that's true, then whitelist is on. Spawn animals. If you spawn animals, this is true. If it's false, then nothing passive will spawn. No passive animals. Online mode. This is, well, online mode. If it's true, then you need to be a registered Minecraft account, or have a registered Minecraft account to join. So I'm going to log in, and there we go. We can close that now. Next thing, well, if that's false, then you can log in with a hack client. So just Minecraft SP with a fake username, and you'll be able to join, which I recommend not having this on false unless you have a good reason to do it. PvP, player versus player combat. Do you want players to be able to hurt each other? True or false? 18. Difficulty. 0 is peaceful, 1 is easy, 2 is medium or normal, and 3 is hard. So if I put this is currently at easy, I'm going to go ahead and keep it at easy. 19. Game mode is 0. Basically, this is the default game mode people join with. If it's at 0 is survival and 1 is creative. So if I set this to 1, then the next time I join, or when everyone else joins, they're going to be automatically set into game mode 1 if they haven't joined the server before. I'm going to keep that at 0 anyways. Max players. Basically, this is amazingness. This allows me to choose how many players I want on the server at once. The less there are, the less lag you'll get. Spawn monsters. Do you want to spawn non-passive mobs or not? Generate structures. Do I want to generate structures like ravines, strongholds, and villages? If that's false, then they won't spawn. 23. View distance. This is how far a person can view chunks away from them. I'd recommend keeping that at 10. 24. MOTD. This is, well, I'll explain this to you. Basically what this does is change the MOTD on the server list. So I'm going to log in. Go ahead and let this load up multiplayer. And this is what the MOTD is. So if I change this to, oh hi there, and I save this, and then I open up Minecraft and start up the server. So I'll run that and let it start. There we go. Now it's oh hi there, pretty uber cool. Close that, and that's MOTD. So basically that's how you configure it. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to basically use the commands for the server. So I'm going to run the server again. First I'm going to show you them in the console here, then I'm going to show you how you can do them in game and how other people can use them in game. So first command is op. So basically what this does is you can op a user and then they can use other commands in game. You'll need to do this so you're admin on your server and you can spawn blocks and etc. So I've opt myself, opping myself, basically use op then your name, and then I can log on and I can use the op command now. And I can de-op myself too. De-op the pilot guy. Then I won't be opt anymore. I can de-op anyone as an op. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and opt myself via the console. Again, I can opt and de-op other people via in-game or in the console. And that's how op works. Next thing we have is reload. What this does is reloads all your plugins in the entire server. If you install a new plugin, it will load it up without having to restart your server. I can do it in-game too. The next thing I can do is called toggle downfall. So I will type that in. And this basically changes anything to rain or to shine. I can do this in-game or in console. And basically what it does is change rain, snow, and etc. on and off without use of a plugin. Really simple, really easy to do. The next, I believe this is the last thing you can do, unless something pops up into my head, is only console. You can't do this in game even if you are op, unless you have a plugin to do it. And you can type say, then whatever you want to say. So I can say hi. Then the game, you can see it right here. You'll say hi as the server. I can say anything I want. It doesn't matter, it just says it as the server. Pretty fun if you want to mess with your friends. Oh, and that reminds me, the last thing actually is game mode. So basically I can change my game mode to whatever I want. If you don't see it, it says game mode the pilot guy 1. 1 is creative, as you remember, so now I'm in creative. And as op I can set myself back to 0, which makes me back into the other game mode, which is survival. And oops, I gave myself some stone apparently. There we go. And the last command I remember is give your name whatever you want. So I can give the pilot guy 164, and now I have stone, 64 stone. This uses the block ID, so stone is 1, grass would be 2, etc. You can find, I believe on Minecraft Wiki they have a page giving you all the item ideas, or IDs. You need to type in the exact username to be able to get to, we'll be able to give that username whatever you want. Only ops can give their self stuff. Even if a user isn't opt in their creative mode, they still can't give their self stuff. So basically, oh actually, I left out one thing. Last thing, you can do this in console or in game, and I can't necessarily show you because I don't have anyone else currently on the server, but I can type -TP, then my exact username, not exact capitals, but exact letters, then a other name like Jacob Shark, then I would teleport to them. This lets me teleport to any player on the server that's currently on. If they're offline, I can't teleport to them. And yeah, so that's basically all the in-game server commands and the console commands. TP can be used in console if you didn't notice. Basically, yep, that's it. So that was how to set up and use your Bukkit server without plugins. After this, go ahead and link, well, actually, I'll just go ahead and sit here, press F1, and you can click the top left to see the video of if people can't join your server. You can click the top bottom, which is the, left bottom, to see how to install plugins. You can click the, well, this is a bit confusing, the right top and the right bottom. I'm not completely sure what I'm going to put there yet, but you will see text there. Right now you'll see text. And basically you just use the annotations to get there. The text will tell you what the videos are about if you have any other questions. And that's it. So just go ahead and rate this video. If you want to see those other videos right now, the annotations might not work because the videos might not be out. So if you subscribe, you'll see those videos when they come out. And rate the video. Comment to make sure I know, hey, what am I doing wrong? What do you want to see better? And that's it. So see you all later. And see y'all. Yeah.